Good evening, Year 9 students, parents and carers. I'm Miss Harris and I'm here tonight to introduce you to the exciting option of AQA GCSE Psychology. So why choose psychology as an option then? Let's start with a bit of an explanation of what studying psychology actually involves. So it's the scientific study of the mind and how this influences our everyday behaviour. It also involves understanding what motivates us as individuals, and it allows us to apply this understanding and knowledge that we've gained to benefit society as a whole. So why study psychology? It's a fascinating subject, particularly if you're interested in people, if you're interested in what makes us who we are, or what they like to term the human condition, and this is definitely the option for you. You will need a good standard of English, maths and science in order to access the course. Okay, so what will you learn? Apart from the theories that are associated with psychology, this subject will also encourage you to empathise with others. It will encourage you to explore your own values and beliefs and align these with other people in society. It will also help you develop your critical analysis and independent thinking skills. So how will this look in a classroom? We complete mini experiments, we look at case study evidence, we write reports, we evaluate, and we also interpret psychological research and theories. What does studying psychology actually offer then? For us, an ideal student will enjoy discussion, they will enjoy researching new ideas and also evaluating old theories, and they'll have an innate interest in human behaviour. In other words, what makes us who we are. In return, we'll equip you with an understanding of the way that psychology has contributed to the individual self, the social self, and also our understanding of cultural diversity. In terms of career options, psychology opens many doors. It's useful in any career that requires lots of interaction and an understanding of human behaviour and development. People with psychology skills are sought after in various areas. You could take your qualification further and choose to join the medical sector or the care sector. Jobs in this area include things like forensics, psychologist, occupational and educational health, counselling and therapy, to name but a few. You could alternatively use your required skills to pursue a career that requires knowledge of the interaction or the understanding of human behaviour. And many of these careers include marketing, business and management, public services, teaching, sports and exercise, and social work. So any of these career opportunities will be there for you. So what is the course content then? I'm going to take you through separately what you will study in Year 10 and then what you will study in Year 11. In Year 10 we start with social influence. So this is the study of conformity and obedience. So why do we conform? Why are we obedient? Who are we obedient to? We look at crowd and collective behaviour, and we look in terms of that at antisocial but also at pro-social behaviour, so people who do things for the good of society. We then study memory, so we look at the different types of memory, we look at the theories of memory, and we look at the idea of reconstructing our memory. So is our memory always as accurate as we would like? And in terms of that, we look at false memories as well. We then move on to research methods, and this has a mathematical component. We also look at different sampling methods, so the people that are chosen for the research. We interpret the data that is collected from previous research, and we also look at the ethical considerations, particularly of performing research on individuals in society. So what are the ethical implications? We then move on to perception. So we're obviously already aware that we all have a different perception. We all perceive the world in a different way, and we look at the reasons behind that. So we look at nature and nurture. So the way we're brought up, does that make a difference to the way we view the world? We look at cultural differences, and we also have a look at visual illusions. And finally, for Year 10, we look at development. So we study the various stages of development, and we'll look at the effect of development on learning. So if there is an issue at some point in your development, how will that translate into your everyday life? Moving on then to Year 11, we will start our Year 11 studies with language, thought and communication. We'll look at various theories of language and thought, so whether or not language comes first or thought comes first. We then move on to the similarities and differences between human and animal communication. And finally, we'll look at non-verbal communication. So this will involve things like body language, personal space, eye contact, and the way this contributes to our understanding of communication. We will then move on to brain and neuropsychology. So we will look at the structure and function of the nervous system. We will also look at the structure and function of the brain. We will then move on to neurological and brain damage and the ways that we can now, or the ways that scanning techniques have been improved to enable us to localize certain areas of the brain. So what we're hoping to do in this unit is point to a particular area in the brain and discuss how that causes certain types of behaviour or certain types of actions. We will then move on to psychological problems. This is split into two sections, and we will look at theories and treatments for different types of depression, and also theories and treatments for different types of addiction. Finally then, to round us off, as this is a linear course with exams at the end of the 2 years, we will go through a revision section of all units studied throughout the 2 years. However, at the end of every unit we study, right from the beginning of year 10, you will do an end of unit test at the end of every single one. So you'll get used to seeing these exam style questions. So what does assessment look like then in psychology? As noted, this is a linear course, so therefore you take 2 exams at the end of your 2 years of study. These exams are a combination of multiple choice questions, short answer questions, and also extended questions. What will they be testing then? They'll be testing your ability to apply everything you've learned to the real world. So everything you've learned about theories, everything you've learned about research will be applied to real world settings. They will also test your ability to be able to evaluate the way research is carried out, and also whether or not you can interpret results. So if you look on the right hand side now, you take 2 papers. Paper 1 is cognition and behaviour. It's worth 50% of your final grade. It's, as I said, an hour and 45 minutes long, and you'll get a total mark out of 100. Your paper 2 then is social context and behaviour. Again, worth 50%. An exam of the same time, so 1 hour 45 minutes, and again you get a mark out of 100. These are added together, which gives you your final grade. Finally then, in terms of future pathways, if you've studied psychology at GCSE, you can move on to further education, so you can progress if you wish onto A-level psychology. You could, if you chose, complete a BTEC Level 3 National Certificate in Applied Psychology. So this prepares learners to enter either employment or apprenticeships. Or you could choose to move to higher education. You could study a degree in psychology, or there are many other related subjects that this would apply to. Okay, so if you need any further information or you want to ask any more questions regarding this course, feel free to contact me. My contact details are jcharris@ormistonhorizonacademy.co.uk. Thank you for listening.